All right, welcome folks to another edition of Tiny Talks at Rocket. We started this initiative to help everyone understand more about how things work in the real world. So making a project is one thing, but when you actually start putting out things in production at scale, you run into more complexities. And the best way to learn from those is to learn from uh, people who are working in the industry. So we have our alums who have been working in the industry for over 2 years now, and we invite them to share their um, interesting projects that they worked on and like share their learnings with the wider community. So today we have Manish from Revenue Hero, and he's going to talk about complexities in booking group meetings. So uh, think of like Calendly, you can like it from a UX perspective, it seems pretty easy. You click on a time slot and you enter your name, email, and the meeting is booked. But what goes behind making that happen in terms of implementation, uh, you have to, yeah, I'll let Manish talk about the challenges. So yeah, over to you, Manish.
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, so pretty quick introduction, like Swapnil told. So I'm working at RevenueHero. It's been 1 year, and so basically, our core product is regarding the scheduling and meeting. So that's why we need the calendar and all thing, like dealing with dates and all. I think there are pretty much many memes around this, like, okay, if you are dealing with dates, then you are in trouble or something. Because in JavaScript, it's not well handled. So yeah, so I had a project like in which we have to we have to book a meeting considering like okay like let's say 5 6 people are will be included in that meeting. So how can we organize such a meeting in which all of them will be available, right? So basically what you will be doing, okay, you will be checking bunch of events from other people calendar, right? So basically I will quickly share my screen so that you can understand it better. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Yep, we
Not
can. We can.
okay. Yeah, so basically what happens generally, so like our product, it deals with the like day-to-day sales issues, right? So what I mean is like what happens, okay, I will not go into deeply into sales thing. So basically we want to book a meeting, right? So I will add some other people and we can check their calendar events here also, right? But what we are currently deal with is we can override it, right? We can book another meeting. So basically, in our calendar, we shouldn't be able to do it because it's their busy time. We shouldn't be able to book the meeting. So yeah, we will go through the notion. Yes. Uh, so this is our product, right? So what problems we are having with this thing, right? So the problem is we are taking a bunch of data from the APIs, right? Like Google Calendar is giving us the data, and we have to render them into the browser, right? So currently we are using React Big Calendar. Like we came across a lot of libraries, but React Calendar suits us the best thing. But the here is the catch, right? Dealing with time zone is like pretty mess. Okay, so like why? Because let's say here, if you are booking a meeting, let's say at 3 o'clock. So in US, it's like 7.5 hours ahead. So like in different time zones, it is like ahead and like it will come before. So that's very problematic, right? So, and what other challenges if you say, so like we have to take into the whenever we are booking a meeting, so we have to take consideration into the buffers, right? Like pre and post buffer. So you don't want to be okay, like let's say there is a 30 minutes meeting and we can book next meeting after right after that. No, we need some buffers like to take rest and all, right? like I'm talking in regarding to sales, right? So they can't be like, you can't be like taking like meetings one after another. There should be some buffers, right? So buffers should be considered. And in this library, they don't have the support. So we have to like make it from the scratch. Then another thing which I will show you, let's say I'm like creating a meeting, right? From let's say 11:30 to 12:30, right? So what would happen is half of the slot is here, half of the slot is the next day, right? So we have to split the event also, right? And so this is another challenge. And also we have to take consider also like different people's availability, right? I will show you like moving forward how availability looks like. And yeah, so also ultimately, if you guys have used Calendly, right? Like it's like you will select some slots and you will copy paste them in the Gmail or some kind of text editor in order to essentially able to book the meeting by themselves. I will go through all of them. So yeah, what are the different solutions explored? So first is like, okay, we explored a couple of different libraries, then some date conversion thing libraries, like we have a couple of date conversion libraries. Let's say date FNS is there, moment.js is there, Luxon is there. So we went with date FNS, which is quite good. And okay, I will now like go to the implementation, like how we implemented it, right? First challenge is showing availability in the calendar. What essentially it means is like, if you're working, right, let's say 9 to 5, so you are available from 9 to 5 only, right? So you are not available after 5. So basically we shouldn't be able to book the meeting after 5, right? So from the API, we generally get data like this format, like, okay, Friday we will having, I'm available from this to this, like this.
Manish, can you zoom in
Oh, sorry. Yeah, can. Is it fine?
a bit more? Perfect.
So let me know like if I'm going too fast and if you want to like ask some doubt, I'll help it. So yeah. So let's say first thing is availability, right? So as I mentioned, 9 to 5 thing. So from different days, like we have 7 days, and 7 days we will having some different availabilities, right? So this is the format we are getting. So like from this format to in like how can the first like challenges we are getting in this format? How can we compare dates like with the this availability with the calendar? Like this is the calendar, right? So what happens is we have each slot like 6 to 7, 7 to 8, right? So we want to compare, okay, if is this slot is available or not, right? Like checking this data structure. So like it's like what can be done, what is the best optimized way, right? If you guys can suggest something like what do you think around it, like how it can be helped. um, I'm open to suggestions also. I will show you like what I did. So yeah, anyone do it. So basically, I will tell you. So
One
like this
question
is,
before that. How
yeah,
does the API get the availability data?
yeah.
Like,
So basically, yeah. So basically, in our application, in our product, we have something called availability. Like in the Google Calendar, also, if you go to the settings, uh, I think here somewhere around we have this one. This is the availability, right? Like you are on Wednesday 7 to 5, then 6 to 7, like that. Okay, you can add it or subtract it. Correct. This is the availability. So this availability is stored in this data structure because it's the like most optimized way, I think, like to store. Um, so yeah. So basically, what happens is in the calendar, you want to compare these data with each of the time slot, right? This time slot is 6 to 7. This is 7 to 8, right? So like, how can we compare this much of data with a single thing, right? This is like pretty hefty. So okay, I will go with it. So what we basically do is like, okay, we are somehow converting all this data into this array format, right? So what it essentially means is like, if you say check the comment, so we have an array. It will have seven indexes, right? First index is, let's say it's Sunday, then it's Monday, then it's Tuesday, right? So it will have for start date and end date, start date and end date. What it essentially means is, if you check, this is for Sunday, right? In Sunday, I have let's say one event. Let's say this one, right? This one start and stop. I'm storing start and stop here, then start and stop here, then like this format. Okay. Like if you guys are understanding it, let me know, because I can go deeper into it. Any doubt regarding this? Okay, I'll move forward. So yeah, basically this whole data structure I'm converting into array of this thing. So why array? Because it would be easy to compare. Like we will just do, like let's say this is the result. Okay, we will do result.song, and inside sum we can compare. Okay, each item with the date, like this slot date, right, 11 to 12 or something. So that way we can get, okay, if this date is available or not. If it isn't, then we will just block that date in the calendar so that we can't be able to book a meeting. I will show you the, like, this is the calendar we made. So these, all this thing you might be seeing, this is like an unavailable block, right? And all the white spaces, it's like available. So this was the first challenge. And second is like, okay, rendering events the user in the calendar, right? So generally, this is the data structure we will be getting it from, like this typically from the Google Calendar. So from this data structure to even rendering in the calendar, so how it can be happening. Also, we will be getting, so this is a data structure for a single event, like this is a single event, right? This is a single event. So for the single event, it will be like this. So let's say in a calendar, there can be many more, like 20, 30 events, because we will be considering, let's say 5, 6 people, like all over the 7 days, right? So there can be many. So how can we like deal with it, right? Also considering like, okay, we have a time zone thing, right? Let's say this event is booked in, let's say GMT, I mean in Indian time zone, right? So you can see there is a time zone thing, yeah. You can see there is a time zone thing, right? Calendar time zone. So let's say this is IST, Indian time zone, but in the calendar we are trying to book it is in, let's say, PST, like the US time zone, right? So these things are like difficult to handle. So what we essentially did is we converted all of this data into this thing so that we can be render, right? So basically we first convert each of their start time and end time. We took it and change them into the time zone. Okay. Then what happens is, now the next issue is, let's say you can see in the Google Calendar, if I add some guy, you can see these are like overlapping events, right? These are like side by side. So let's say I will having like 5, 6 more. So it's hard to read, right? So basically we have to click there and open, then read. Okay. So how we dealt with this? Jayan, do you have any doubt? Yes. Hello, Jayan. Okay, I missed when did you ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in the chat. I put down the questions in the chat. It's related to the time zone thing only. I think you just ran through that. I asked it earlier.
Okay, okay. Is it fine? Like I will be clearing all this doubt at the end, so that
Okay.
I will quickly
Make
like
sense.
end the flow. Yeah. So these are like overlapping, right? Like side by side. So we can't see if there are 6, 5 more. So how we dealt with is we did something called cluster slot. What essentially means, it will just show, okay, how many events it has. Whenever you hover over it, will in the drop down kind of thing, like, or a tooltip, will be showing, okay, how many events fall under this, right? So if it is a single slot, then fine, we will show the all thing. Like this is a single event. But if there are multiple events overlapping on each other, we just show, okay, when we hover over it, then, so basically the thing is, this is like used by sales. So in sales, you want to book the meeting as quickly as possible, right? It's not like, okay, you will click and go into it, like then check, okay, read. No, we want to just quickly grasp it, like just by seeing it, right? So that's the issue we are solving, right? And so this is the cluster thing, right? When it's overlapping, it's quite complicated thing. So and there are like lot of data. If I add like more and more people, so there will be lot of data, right? So what happens is like too many events and too many re-rendering. So that's to optimize it. What we essentially doing is caching, right? Whatever events we are storing. Let's say we are adding a new guest, right? New member here. So whatever already events already rendered, we will be storing them in cache. Will not be re-rendering the whole thing again. So that's how like one level of optimization we did. And yeah, and we are also doing like checking if whatever meeting we are trying to book, you can see, right, whenever where I'm hovering, it has some pre-buffer here and post-buffer at the end of the slot. So basically we will be checking, okay, if, so basically these are the events which shouldn't be overlapped. Let me go to the next page. Yeah, so I can't be booking the book the meeting in this because this is busy. This is preserved, right? We should be always book the meeting in the empty thing. If I do this, it will uh, throw me error that okay, this is conflicting, right? So these all these things are like calculations, like based on the start time and the end time of the like the slot I am like booking, right? And yeah, rendering overlapping events. I think I went through it, and yeah. So one interesting thing what I learned is like we are using React Big Calendar, right? So you can see, right, each cell, like each 1 hour slot is divided into 12 parts, which is 5 minutes each, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 minutes I can go each by. So if I show this, you can see there are like 5 minute slots each, right? So basically, if currently we are showing a hover state, right? Well, whenever we are hovering, we are showing okay, from this time to this time you are going to book the meeting. But in the React Big Calendar, this support was not there. Like there was no hover state at all. So like how did we figure it out is like we fogged the React Big Calendar into our project and made some changes there only, like in the like we reverse engineered, okay, checking okay how the things are working, and we added some props so that we can inject the children. And this basically that children is basically this hover state, right? This whole hover thing you are seeing, right? This is a, let's say, div element, and we are injecting this div element into the calendar. So by this, like it solves a lot of problems. Like people don't have to assume okay what time they are booking because they can see in the like state, right? So this is like this was pretty interesting for me. So yeah, not I didn't went into like too much calculation and all logic stuff, but this is these are the like problems we faced and how did we tackle one by one. Yeah. So okay, you guys can like ask me any doubt or anything.
Am
Okay,
I audible?
yeah, right.
I wanted to ask you that now that you said that React Big Calendar, you forked it inside your project, does it exist inside your project? And what happens when React Big Calendar brings a major update, or maybe fixes a major bug?
That's fine because we can like uh, so what we did is, let's say we created a branch, and in that branch we added a change, small change only, right? If let's say React Big Calendar add something in to their like npm package, we will just fork that npm package, and we had that commit branch, right? We can just merge it into that. Nothing like major will happen, I don't think.
So you made a new branch in React Big Calendar's repository,
No, no,
not
no, no, no. I just forked it into our repository and made changes there. It's
okay.
not like these changes existed in React Big Calendar. No.
Got it, got it.
Yeah. Jayant asked me a question. What happens if the user changes the time zone? How is handled? Does backend take a... No, so what happens is, so I will show you quickly one thing, right? So let's say, so this is the new date, right? It says, okay, October 1st this time, right? So basically, there are like plenty of JavaScript time functions which can be used to convert into like time zone, right? So basically, it will take uh, one locale, right? It is saying locales and options. If I do EN US, this is the by default locale, and time zone. If I do PST, see now the time is changed, right? It's 10:55 something something, right? PM. Because basically they are behind us by I think 7.5 hours behind of us, right? So you can manipulate data and you can show that. So that's how we deal with the time zone thing. If that answer your question, Jayant.
Yes, it does. Thanks.
Any more questions? Any suggestion or anything? I will tell you one basic. If you guys are dealing with React Big Calendar and with the time zone, there is one major problem. So React Big Calendar has like library support. It doesn't calculate all the calendar time thing by itself. It depends upon one of the date time library. Let's say we have date FNS or day.js, we have Luxon or moment.js. You guys might have heard of it, right? So never ever use moment.js in like big projects because first of all is moment.js is pretty huge. Like they are using oops like they're oops oriented all over their project. If you check their code base and even in their website also, if you see they have written considering using movement.js, there may be many better alternatives. Why they did it is because there are pretty fundamental problems with the data happiness. I will show you one quick example, right? So can you guys see my screen? This you can see, right?
Yes.
So let's say I created a start date from the moment library, and what I did is end date. Just add a 1 year, right? So basically, what should happen? Like basically, start date should be the current date, end date should be the like I added 1 year to start date, right? It should be 2024. But what it did is, if you check the console, both of it changed the both of them, right? Start date also 2024, end date also 2024. So yeah, like don't use moment JS. So that's like create that will create many bugs. Yeah, Luxon is like that's why they created a good alternative for it. Luxon is good. Any more questions or any ideas regarding this thing?
I have one question.
Yeah,
So it's related to time zone. So
correct.
while sending it to backend, you convert it or you send it to the current time zone and backend saved this as a server location time zone.
So basically, whenever we deal with like dates everywhere, it should be always converted into UTC time zone, right?
UTC.
So basically, if you do something to UTC string, right? Not string. Oops.
In milliseconds. You mean.
To ISO string. Yeah. So we should always send any date like from backend to front end, or like whenever we are like passing dates, we should always do it in this format only, because this is a standard format. This is the UTC format. It will be universal for everything. So yeah, so generally what we do is we send the date in this time zone, and we also pass a parameter called as time zone, like whatever we have selected. So that deals with it. Yeah.
And while getting, you get as a UTC time format.
Yeah, correct. And if we got this is the like universal uh, what we call format, right? And for the like what I learned, basic thing about date handling date is, so whenever you are passing date, right, always pass the value. Like this is the value. This is like the standard thing, right? But if you want to show in this different formats, right? So you can do that two locale string or anything, right? So never use this two locale string or any date conversion, like format conversion thing to handle, like to pass data, right? While passing the data, it should be always this specific value, like ISO string only. But while you display it for the purpose of display, then you can do whatever you want, doesn't matter. So I got into many bugs due to this. Like I was passing data, like formatted data. We should never pass formatted data. It should be always UTC only. Yeah, caching involved to prevent reading. Okay, so basically, not memo. I will tell you. So I'm using React, right? So React has useRef in which even if it re-renders, the variable will be not be reinitialized, right? So there is something called a map, right? It's like similar to array, but it's like better version of it. So there is this thing. So what we are doing is whatever these things events we got, we will be just putting inside map. Then next time we will be trying to when the React re-renders, we will check, okay, if this thing already exists in map, then don't like just take it from here, like the from map, don't re-render with that only. If that answers your question. I saw that we are using strings to store value, store data. What strings I didn't get?
Then can you unmute and ask?
Yeah, sorry. So I saw that for storing the date, we are using a string kind of thing. So I know there is something called as epoch time or the Unix timestamp that we can use. So I just wanted to understand why did we pick up that choice, or is there a better way if we could use the Unix
Storing
timestamp?
data as in which data are you talking about?
The date. You see the date, it's in the string format. It's
This
pretty
one.
long. Yeah. So if you do new date, and
no. Okay. No, actually, we can store it any for like epoch format is basically it will calculate all the milliseconds from 1st of January 1970, right? It will show, let's say new date to, I think, to string or something. No. Yeah, so basically it shows all the so whatever number we get, it will be in milliseconds, right? It will be like hard to read actually, like, okay, what's this data? You will be always converting into some new data, right? So that can be also done, I think, but this is like, okay, we are getting a lot of things. Okay, you can, by reading also, you can understand, okay, what's the
Got
year and time, right? So,
Got
yeah.
So if you were to optimize this, would we go to the Unix timestamps? Because it's a much shorter way of storing things, and it's if you storing this in a database, it will take uh, much larger memory as compared to if you are doing the Unix timestamp. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got what you were saying. Okay, this is like some large string and all. But basically, if you think about it, we have never came across, okay, data management thing, like storing the string, because, okay, this is this long, and whatever you are saying, like if we store epoch time, right, it will be something like this, right? So it's not like there is very vast difference so that it will cause performance issue or like data management issue, not like that. But if we like ever face such thing, like then we can go for it, right? Yeah,
All
right.
right.
Gate.path.
Any more questions, folks?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
This UI that you have built, like how easy was it to customize React Big Calendar for your particular use case? Apart from that
Uh,
forking issue.
yeah, so React Big Calendar, the thing is like it's quite flexible, right? So I customize a hell lot of it. If you see, check the actual thing, how it look like. I think this one. They have a bunch of things. So, but that's the thing. Good thing about React Big Calendar I found is like you can customize a hell lot of it, right? All the stylings, all the props, and this gives us like this much of prop, right? It will almost cover every your case, whatever you're dealing with. So yeah.
Like how easy was this? Like, would you want to do this again in any of your future projects?
Easy, like it was quite challenging, I will say, because dealing with this dates and all, just to like, for example, this is the availability, right? This guy is available from 00 to 4:30 and like this, let's say. So like major problem was dealing with data thing, right? Like data conversion. How because the data we are getting is in totally different format, and here in calendar, how we will be dealing with it will be in different format. So major challenge was data formatting and dealing with time zone because I will give you one also another good example. So let's say this is the thing in like 10:30 to 11:30, right? If I change the time zone, half of the let's say event would be here and half of the event would be in the next day, right? So these kind of thing like and eventually we have to split up the events like we have to logically do it by our own ourselves because React big calendar it will not handle like this split of events. So we have to like logically do it. Okay, if it is falling like if a event is falling in 2 days, we have to check then split here half, then split there half. Like there are many calculations here, I would say. But using React by like big calendar as a normal like use case is like it's fine. Major thing is like data handling and all. Yeah.
Uh, Also, one more thing, like any particular assumptions you have taken, like maybe an event can only be 2 hours long, or the maximum number of users that can exist is maybe 10 in a particular calendar.
Yeah, so we have did that. So like in a particular calendar, there can be maximum 10 because it doesn't make any sense if you are having 12 or like more people because it's a sales call, right? There won't be maximum generally on average it's like 5 6 people only. But that's why we made an assumption. Okay, only 10 people at max can see this thing. So number of users I will be adding, you will see more and more of their events. I think they don't have any events currently. Yeah, you can see 3 events. Still, like it can be optimized like UI wise, but this is the thing we have currently built in now.
Any assumption on the size of the event, like, or
Size as in
maybe it
like
can be only 3 hours long, 2 hours long, or something like that.
no. It like it can be like there can be event like which covers all the like 7 days. It's not like that.
Okay.
Basically, it takes the event from here, like Google Calendar, right? Because whatever book meeting we book, it will create an event in the Google Calendar. So we are fetching all the data from the Google Calendar. These all are Google Calendar events. So there is no restriction like that. Time span, I would say it took around like 5 months. It was like pretty big project. Like aside this calendar thing, there are a couple of like you can see bunch of properties, right? With this meeting type and assignee booker. Like there are a lot of other things like say all sales related things. So if you want to understand, we have to learn about a lot of sales thing, like how things goes on with their. So yeah, otherwise, like building this only like calendar, it would uh, 2 3 months. But these considering these all properties, all the person's properties, right? So it's time taking.
Awesome. Manish, can you also share the Notion link in the comments so that folks can go through it uh, later? We'll also publish the recording so folks can go through that as well. One thing I just okay, I think you sent to me. Can you just send to everyone?
So yeah,
I was wondering if that link of Notion could be sent, below in the talk where it's in Discord, it's mentioned. Is that
yeah, I
possible?
will. Yeah, I will send it there also.
Okay.
Awesome. Perfect. Let's do a quick reflection as well. Folks, what is your one takeaway from this session? If you learned something new, just drop it in the chat. It helps everyone see, okay, this is what is a new learning or a new insight that you got. I see that this was a pretty heavy talk, heavy a lot of insights. Yeah, I would say this was like multiple tiny talks combined into one because we touched on a uh, bunch of topics. Manish, anything in particular you want to like expand more on?
Uh, that's the thing. Like major thing was like dealing with the time zone only because in different people will have. So I will give you a pretty basic example. So let's say we are booking a meeting right here. Okay, so basically this is the assignee, this is the booker. Assignee is like this whole product is basically like we are booking a meeting on others' behalf. It's like in the sales, it's their thing. So we have to take in consider of the assignees availability, our availability, right? We have to convert all of them into like a common time zone and show it. So basically, data conversion is the like mess here. So basically, what I did is I went through a lot of sort of sketches and diagrams. Okay, how it can be done, and like I will like if I go on explaining this is like quite a big thing. I tried my best like to explain all of this in as short as quick as possible because each problems I said can be expanded more to understand it. Yeah. Basically, if I want to give you a quick thing, so let's say for example, this is the thing, right? These are blocked events, right? And whatever I'm hovering, you can see this is the event I'm gonna book. So we have to check that. Like sometimes this block event size and the current event size, like it can be above it. It can be, let's say, there is a 60-minute thing. Okay. Long. Uh, there could be some long meeting. Okay. So yeah, basically there are like couple of use cases here only, like to compare, okay, if the date is overlapping or not. Because let's say this is your meeting, this is the blocked meeting, right? Like already existing. So if my meeting is let's say 60 minutes long, right? So this will cover the entire, like from here to here, it will cover. You have to check like how we are checking through start date and end date only, right? So sometimes the end date is less than the start date here. Let's say it's hard to explain actually. Like I have to draw and show the okay how it is done. So that's like will take more time. But
I think
yeah, like yeah,
let's let's have people go through the Notion doc, and if they have more questions, maybe we can have you one more time sometime.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
that
Big new thing.
that is pretty cool. And yeah, like Vishwajit mentioned, uh, it's a pretty big product, and um, thanks for sharing it with us. I think this is something, of course, when you do it as a toy project, uh, you get it done, the basic features, happy paths in a few
Yeah,
days, a few weeks. When you actually do it in production, you realize, अच्छा ये भी use case है, ये भी corner
yeah,
case है, and then you
exactly.
cannot say कि hey, will not cover this. What do you have to cover because it's going in production now.
Yeah, so
Uh,
like I will say like last week only. So in our company there is something called like feedback thing. Like every 6 months we will having a personal feedback. Okay, where we are going and all. So I asked my manager like, okay, he is like quite experienced. How do you actually learn about a thing like he said like the best way to learn is like actually writing production based code, production grade code. Only that you will know, okay, this is something you have done. Otherwise, side projects are good, like to learn quick things, but only doing production grade code, you will like end up something.
awesome. I think this was pretty cool. Um, like you mentioned, working on production grade things, that is something like that is definitely true, because constraints actually force you to do things a particular way. The assumptions you end up taking, they also shape the product in a lot of ways. And just the trade-offs, I think trade-off is something that needs a lot of thought, both when you are building something from scratch or you're extending something. You have to keep it such that there is still room for modification on top of it, and you don't end up rewriting it from scratch. Like, I think one of
Right.
the one of the most dreaded scenarios is you have a project but you have to rewrite it, because made some bad tech choices in the, like,
Yeah.
design architecture choices in the past. So yeah, I think let's have people go through the doc. If there are um, more doubts, we can have a follow-up session. Uh, all right. And I had a quick question, like, how many talks have you given before?
I think this is my first one.
It did not seem that way for sure. I mean, the kind of confidence you had while delivering this, I mean, yeah, kudos. I think that is something like I'd not assumed that you would answer it so first. So that is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
So
like it's like when you are building something, like you are like working daily, right? So you will be having confidence that much, right? Okay, you can have like I didn't like prepare anything. Okay, like I have to learn something or something. Like in general
right.
talk, what happens? We have to rehearse or something. Okay, this is the thing I'm gonna talk. But for this one, I've been working for this like I said like 5 months, right? So that's why like it's been inside my mind, inside my head only. So yeah, that's why.
Awesome. Makes sense. We'll now wrap it up. I think we went a bit over because we had a lot of
Yeah.
questions from the audience. I think this was pretty cool. Folks, for future Tiny Talks, we have the next slot booked already. So next slot, we have something already that will come up. Um, the slots from 2 weeks from now are open. If you have something that you would want to share, just DM me either on WhatsApp, Discord, Telegram, wherever, and we'll set it up. Like Manish said, it's like a no pressure real world use case. You don't have to like make slides, and you just have to like talk about what you're doing. And from a learning perspective, it helps a lot because you're actually diving into real world use cases. So I see a lot of familiar names. I see Himanshu, I see Gopal, Harshit, Vedant, Omkar, Vignesh. Ramalinga, Anish. Yeah, I think most of you I know already. So just pick a date and let's just ping me with the title. We'll set up a talk, and it's a great booster because now, like after this, you can like very easily go on to um doing it in real life as well. Like Zoom is a pretty safe space, I would say. कि घर पे बैठे बैठे you can give it, and then you can go to like either physical meetups or even conferences. So like treat this as a stepping stone. All right. With that, we will end this, and I'll of course see you next Sunday for the next talk, and for the future Sundays. If you have a project that you feel is complex and has a bunch of things, or even one thing that you feel you can talk about, just ping me. We'll figure out the title and the content. I can help with curating that. But yeah, let's keep the cadence going, I would say. I like when we talk about real world projects, because then has like a lot of learnings, and even just seeing this also, even if you are not implementing it, seeing someone else implement it also, you get one learning, two learning, so that whenever you end up doing something similar, you know that hey, this is something we can use for reference, or you can directly ping the speaker that hey, can you do just a quick design review, etc. Awesome, that was fun, and we shall end it now, and see you next time. Until then, have fun. All right, have a great Sunday. Bye bye.